Good evening and welcome to the May 20th Board of Commissioners meeting. We are happy that you're with us this evening. I'm going to call our meeting to order. Commissioners, if we would, let's have a roll call. Okay, and if everyone would stand with me, I'm going to ask Commissioner White to do our invocation.
Let us pray. Dear Lord, thank you for another day, and thank you for the young people that are here tonight being recognized for their accomplishments. And we pray that you let us fully listen and understand everything being presented to us tonight so that we can make decisions that are in the best interest for everyone in Pitt County. Amen.
Amen. If you would remain standing, I'm going to invite the South Central Cadets up to, if you would, come up and introduce yourself and then lead us in the pledge, please. Want to introduce yourselves?
I'm Cadet Jacobson. I'm an 11th grader at South Central. I'm the assistant instructor for the JROTC program.
Hello, my name is Cadet Reddick. I am a 10th grader. I'm the Sergeant Major of the Falcon Battalion, and will you please join us for the national, the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much. Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
A motion and a second. Please vote. And then we will move on to public addresses and start with our presentations. Madam Manager?
Yes, there no one signed up for public addresses to the board.
Okay.
And you would need a motion to approve the recognition, and then we will head to the front.
Second.
Okay, thank you. Have a motion and a second. Please vote.
Mr. Chairman, it is a pleasure this evening to recognize the North Pitt Varsity Girls Basketball Team. We have the players and coaches with us this evening to present them with a resolution, and then individual certificates which will be presented by their assistant principal.
Are you going to do it? The coach.
Or coach is gonna do it. Excellent.
Okay, well, come on up.
Come on forward.
Oh, everybody don't jump at one time. Come on.
Slow and moving.
Administrative team, y'all want to come on up? I see you're all here.
Come on all the way.
Welcome, guys.
They're state champions, right? That's awesome.
Ms. Manager,
Mr. Harris,
we have
you
the
need-
principal, here as well.
Principal needs to come forward.
It's here.
Right here.
Mr. Harrison, you want to introduce your staff first?
Oh, I can.
I know one of them pretty well.
I'm sure you do. I have Miss Smith here with me. She's my assistant principal. I also have Miss Padilla here. She's the assistant principal, and Mr. Keys is an assistant principal. Of course, I'm the principal, Mr. Harris.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome and thank you so much for being here. I'm Janice Gallagher, the county manager, and it's my pleasure to first read a resolution in recognition honoring the North Pitt Varsity Girls Basketball Team, and then you will receive individual certificates as well. This resolution reads, whereas the 2023 North Pitt Girls Varsity Basketball Team played basketball with remarkable success and dignity as representatives of Pitt County and the state of North Carolina. And whereas the 2023 North Pitt Girls Varsity Basketball Team won the 2A State Girls Basketball Championship by beating East Burke 76-66. And whereas the players, coaches, and families of the 2023 North Pitt Girls Varsity Basketball Team deserve congratulations for their time, effort, and resources committed to going all the way and winning the 2A State Girls Basketball Championship. If this resolution lists all of your names individually and all of the names of the coaches. And it says, now therefore be it resolved that the Pitt County Board of Commissioners does hereby recognize the outstanding achievements of the 2023 North Pitt Girls Varsity Basketball Team, congratulates the players, coaches, and families for bringing the 2A State Girls Basketball Championship to Pitt County, North Carolina. Adopted this 20th day of May 2024 by the Pitt County Board of Commissioners, signed by Chairman Mark Smith, attested by Kimberly Hines, clerk to the board. I'll give this to the chairman to present to
All
the
right,
chief.
Coach Pittman, come on up. On behalf of the Board of Commissioners, we congratulate you all on your state championship, with you, Coach Pittman, and all you ladies. And I understand not only are you champions on the court, but I understand you're champions in the classroom, and that goes a long ways. Thank you very much. Yes, sir. Call the girls' names out and hand them their certificates, and then we'll take a picture.
Monty Heath. Zana Lightfoot. Talasia Bond. Zakiria Jones. Corinne Beaton. Kayla Carmen. Janice Chance. Samaria Jones. Kanae Edwards. Jordan Spelling. Oh, myself, that's one picture. Coach Erica Lightfoot. Coach Steve Slayton. Coach Frost. That's it.
Okay, congratulations. We're gonna have to get real tight.
Kind of sideways. How about turn shoulders? It's a good looking nose.
The only thing you see in me, you see your head.
Yeah, one knee, do one knee.
Most people probably see
Thank you so much for coming.
Congratulations.
when I play basketball, I get one in a row sometimes. Not often, but occasionally. One in a row.
Congratulations.
Is Michelle Moore here? Michelle, would please, there she is, if you please come forward. If you brought anybody with you, they're welcome to join. Michelle, we're gonna put you right here on that black spot. And if you will introduce who's with you, you may right on that other black spot. This is my husband, Ezekiel. Excellent. Well, Michelle and Ezekiel, it is my absolute pleasure tonight to present you, Michelle, with this month's Employee of the Month certificate. It reads Certificate of Recognition, Employee of the Month for May 2024, presented to Michelle Moore, Social Service, in recognition of your dedication and exemplary service to Pitt County government and the citizens we serve. And you received a nomination for this award that was one of the neatest that I've read, and it says that you provide a wealth of knowledge, the willingness to train newcomers and assist veteran agents whenever there's a need. It says your open door policy remains just that to everyone. You promote growth, fairness, and balance. Michelle has over 25 years of service with Pitt County government. She began her career in child support as a clerical worker and continued to advance her career with the Department of Social Services. And since receiving her nomination of Employee of the Month, she's been promoted to a child support establishment supervisor. So we have worked together a long time. I'm so proud to have the chairman present this to you this evening, along with verification of your $100 check. Thank you.
Michelle, on behalf of the Board of Commissioners, we congratulate you. Thank you for all your hard work and dedication.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for your service.
Thank you so much.
Okay, we will move on to public hearings, and Jonas, you are the only one on the books tonight.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the board. Tonight, we do have a public hearing before you. It's a request by Pitt County to establish rural agricultural zoning on approximately 9.5 acres, and also to designate the properties as agricultural on the future land use map. These parcels, 2 of the parcels are owned by David and Gwen Briley. The third parcel is owned by Louis Chavez and Margarita Roque. These properties are located on the southwestern side of NC 33 East and north of Boyd's Road along the Pitt-Beaufort County line. You'll see on the map here, just to give you a general view of where the property is located, is just along that Beaufort-Pitt line to the east of Grimesland. The tax office recently determined that these properties were located in our planning and zoning jurisdiction. Prior to this, they were not on our zoning map at all. They were not included on the zoning map, therefore they were unzoned. These properties also were not included in our future land use map, the Envision Pitt County 2045 Comprehensive Land Use Plan, which was adopted in 2023. Showing kind of where these missing parcels are, again, right along the county boundary. You might remember the tax office has requested that that boundary be resurveyed, and it's approximately a year out now. And our intent tonight is to extend the zoning to wherever that boundary line will be once it's surveyed. Showing the subject property here a little bit more in detail, you can see the properties are surrounding it are agricultural with a few residential properties nearby. Looking at the Envision Pitt County 2045 future land use map, you'll see that the area is heavily agricultural according to that future land use plan. And the proposed designation tonight is for agricultural. This area is currently, the surrounding properties are currently designated as that, and this is in conformance with that. Looking at the zoning map, you'll see the area is rural agricultural with a commercial site located along NC 33 East. Therefore, we are proposing that the zoning be zoned to rural agricultural as part of this request. Staff recommends approval of the request to amend the future land use map in the Envision Pitt County 2045 Comprehensive Land Use Plan to designate it as agricultural. We find it is consistent with the proposed designation, given that the majority of the surrounding property is also agricultural. Staff also finds that the request is reasonable and in the public's best interest because the land uses in the area are predominantly agricultural and residential. And the planning board reviewed the rezoning request at its April 17th planning board meeting and voted unanimously to recommend approval of the request, and that is, it is also consistent with that comprehensive land use plan. Staff also recommends that the property be zoned to rural agricultural for these three properties, again, the Briley properties and the Chavez and Roque properties. So you have your motions included in your agenda packet. That is to approve the request for the Pitt County Comprehensive Land Use Plan to designate it as agricultural, and also to adopt the consistency statement for both the Comprehensive Land Use Plan as well as the rezoning. And with that, I'll open the public, or we'll have the public.
Okay, thank you, Jonas. I'll open up the public hearing. Is there anyone here that would like to speak in favor of this? Anyone want to speak in favor? Okay, anyone want to speak against? All right, I'll close the public hearing. What's the pleasure of the board?
Motion to approve and adopt the consistency statement.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Please vote.
Did you mean that for all three motions that were recommended?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, great, thank you. We'll move on to items for report, and I will invite our Pitt County District Attorney Ferris Dixon up for the Veterans Court Program Grant.
Yes, and you actually have a special guest this evening in place of Ferris. You have
Okay.
MJ Forrest with the Assistant District Attorney's Office. Oh, there's Ferris. And MJ Forrest will be presenting to you this evening.
Okay,
And he can also introduce who's here as well.
Hi, good evening. Thank you very much for allowing us to be here. My name is MJ Forrest, and I'm one of the Assistant District Attorneys here in Pitt County. I'm joined by Mr. Ferris Dixon, who is the District Attorney, Alex Pascal from the Public Defender's Office, Mr. James Hooker, who's an advocate for wounded veterans. We have many other stakeholders. I'd use up all my time if I went through the list of everybody that's involved in this Veterans Court initiative. But I do want to take a moment or two to discuss this initiative. We've been planning this for a little over a year now, coming together, trying to create a Veterans Court. Depending upon which surveys and censuses you look at, we estimate there's somewhere around 10,400, 10,500 veterans living within Pitt County. And that varies depending upon which site you're looking at and when it was drafted. So again, estimating, about 7.5% of our population is veterans, to include myself. Spent a little over 20 years in the Marine Corps, retired out at Cherry Point, went back to school, and became an attorney after my Marine Corps experience has ended. So as we look at Pitt County, with the 7 different veterans agencies that are in the local area, we expect that our numbers are going to increase. There was an article published in August of 2022 entitled Veterans Treatment Courts, and it was published by militarytimes.com. And in that article, it states that when mental health issues are left untreated with our veterans, they can often spiral and become greater problems. Look, there's nothing new under the sun. The same problems that our veterans had after World War II still exist today. Korea, Vietnam, our Iraq and Afghanistan veterans have the same problems. The difference is that we're trying to get ahead of them. And one of the ways that we'd like to get ahead of them is by creating this Veterans Treatment Court. What this court would entail is addressing Class G felonies and below that the veterans find themselves charged with. And what they would do is they would plead guilty to this charge in court, and then they'd be assigned to the Veterans Treatment Court, which is a 5-phase program. Initially, they will establish willingness to participate and be a part of the program. They may be under some sort of electronic monitoring. As the phases increase, their own responsibility is increased. They'll be under the direct supervision of probation and parole. And then ultimately, provided that they make it through the entire program, the entire 5 phases, then their charges would be dismissed, and they would be ready to go back and have a job, have suitable housing, and be provided with all of the resources that they would need to get themselves back on track. For a veteran to be eligible for this program, they would have to be eligible for veteran services at the VA. So they would not be eligible, for example, if they had a dishonorable discharge or something of that nature. Now, I want to be clear, when I say a G-level felony and below, any sort of violent crime or any sort of crime that is of a sexual nature, that would still be handled in the traditional judicial system. Okay, these G-level and misdemeanor crimes, you're looking at drug offenses, you're looking at property crimes, things of that nature. But I just want everyone to be, rest assured that, anything that involved any sort of violence or anything of a sexual nature, that would be handled within the traditional judicial system. Over the last year, we do have some input from the various stakeholders. So we've been having regular meetings between ourselves, the district attorney's office, the public defender's office, the senior resident superior court judge, the VA, the Pitt County Sheriff's Office, Trillium, ECU, Pitt Community College. So this initiative would really span across many of the facets of our community. And so with that being said, we'd ask that you support this initiative as we try to stand up this Veterans Court. I know hit the wave tops here, and you probably have some questions. If you have any, I'd be more than happy to try to address them, or if I don't have the answer, I can always get back to you. But that concludes my portion of the brief.
Okay. Any commissioner questions? Commissioner Colson?
Well, you said if they made it through the program, their record would be, I don't remember exactly, dismissed, I think you used the word.
Yes.
Does that mean expunged?
It does not. Dismissed means that the charges have been dismissed and they have not been found to be guilty. An expungement would occur should they petition the courts and ask to have it removed from their record completely.
So, so they go through the program, what if they are a second offender?
So if they offend while they're in the program, that would result in removal from the program. Now, as we create this Veterans Treatment Court, we still have some details that we need to flush out. So as far as a repeat offender, that would be grounds for removal from the program. Any sort of new charges, any sort of positive drug screens would be cause for removal from the program, and then have judgment entered.
And removal from the program means what?
They would just go ahead and be adjudicated the same way they would in the traditional system.
Would they be in county jail or?
Well, it would depend on how that judgment is entered. They may just go on to regular probation and have the opportunity to have this dismissed, removed from them. Does that help down?
It answers my questions.
Thank you, sir.
Commissioner McGlaughlin?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. You may have mentioned this. Do they have any more of this type of services across North Carolina?
Yes, there are other counties that have successfully stood up these veteran treatment courts. I believe Buncombe County has one. I believe Onslow County has one. As far as other counties, I'm not sure. I do know that those two do have them up and running.
Yeah. I want to thank you and your team for taking this initiative. I think it's very worthy. Our veterans are very important to me, and I'm certain I know it is to you as a veteran yourself. So I think anytime you can do something positive to benefit that segment of our population. You're doing well. So thank you for what you do.
Thank you, sir.
Commissioner Floyd Huggins.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I also want to thank District Attorney and all for initiating this program. But I want to go back to a question that Commissioner Colson asked, and then to go on to ask you about the other counties where this program is being used. Would you look at maybe a second chance before dismissing them from the program, and maybe, you know, looking at what the crime is or whatever? Would that be would you be willing to reconsider that?
The way that the Veterans Treatment Court is set up is very similar to the behavioral treatment court that we currently do have set up in Pitt County. So in putting them through this veteran treatment court, it is in essence a second chance, an opportunity to earn a dismissal. Does that answer your question?
Well, maybe I need to say a third chance. But anyway, you know, when you looked at the other counties, did they dismiss after another crime?
Did they dismiss after another crime?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm understanding your question correctly, and I'm going to rephrase it back to you to make sure that I do understand it. You're asking the veteran gets charged with a crime. They go through the treatment program, and it gets...
Or maybe they're in the treatment program.
And it gets dismissed, and they're now a reoffender. Is that what you're asking?
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be something that we need to flush out. You know, we're still in the early phases of planning this out, and I think that's a great question. I don't have an answer for you at this time, but I absolutely can get one for you.
Okay, Commissioner Nunley.
I wanted to thank you and the local bar, and for always seeking ways to reach the population and not one size fits all ways. I think that it's really important, and Pitt County continues to, with the leadership of the district attorney and the local defense bar, find ways to meet people where they are and provide opportunities. And this is a really important one, and I want to thank you as well and echo those sentiments from the other commissioners. So thank you for that. And I would also like to offer a motion to allow for the application and to authorize the manager to sign anything that's necessary to that effect.
Second.
Got a motion and a second, please vote. Okay, thank you, Mr. Forrest. Appreciate your presentation.
Thank you.
For coming out. Mr. Dixon, thank you for being with us tonight.
Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll move on to the Duke Energy Transmission Line Replacement Project. Lauren Wargo.
Lauren Wargo is our new government relations specialist with Duke Energy. And she's here to give you an update this evening on a current project.
Good evening, Chairman and Board of Commissioners. At Duke Energy, we are committed to making infrastructure improvements to ensure our customers have reliable and safe energy. Today, I am here to brief you on a project that will upgrade 2 portions of the Aurora to Greenville transmission line. As part of this project, we'll be replacing aging transmission towers with new structures to improve reliability and resiliency, as well as strengthen the grid against extreme weather. There are 2 phases of this project. Phase 1 will replace 12 structures that cross the Tar River north of State Road 33. Phase 2 will install new structures and remove 12 existing lattice towers. Construction will start in early 2025 for Phase 1 and end in fall 2026. In Phase 2, we'll require a new right-of-way north of the existing power starting at the Greenville substation and continuing east for 1 mile. We'll install new structures and remove 12 existing lattice towers. Vegetation clearing for Phase 2 will begin summer 2025, with construction starting in summer 2026 and coming to completion summer 2027. A vegetation clearing will clear trees and vegetation from the easement area to allow safe access for crews during construction. This will also help ensure reliability of the line during operation. Construction crews will then begin the process of pouring structure foundations and installing new structures. Crews generally work weekdays during daylight hours and carry identification showing their affiliation with Duke Energy. The crews use a variety of vehicles and construction equipment to place and install poles and H-frame structures. The area will ultimately be restored to its original condition after construction. It should be noted that there are no electric service disruptions anticipated as part of this project. And as always, feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions, as this project is going to be going on into 2027. Looking forward to working with all of you.
Any questions for any commissioners?
No.
Okay, thank you, Lauren.
All right.
Appreciate that
Thank you.
information. Okay, we'll move on to the 911 Communications Center accreditation. Jimmy Hodges.
Good evening.
Evening.
I'm not up here much speaking to you, so I'll introduce myself again. I'm Jimmy Hodges. I'm one of the deputy directors for emergency management. Director Gentry asked if I would come up here and speak to you guys about a wonderful accomplishment from the 911 Center. It's a pretty big deal for us. About 2 years ago, we started the process for accreditation. The accrediting body is the International Academy of Emergency Dispatch, and I'll get into them in a little bit. So as of April, we are the 334th medical ACE center in the world and the 77th fire ACE center. We are only number 8 as far as ACE centers in North Carolina. And here I got listed the other accredited centers. So you see Johnston County, Cumberland, Raleigh-Wake, Durham, Chatham, Greensboro, Guilford Metro, and Mecklenburg EMS Agency. So you can tell from that list, there's not a whole lot of, or any centers besides us, east of 95. The International Academy of Emergency Dispatch, they're the accrediting body that we have gone through for this. They develop and maintain our medical and fire protocols along with police protocols as well. They have protocols written in over 50 countries and use protocols in over 30 languages. We've utilized the medical protocols starting in April of 1999, and we started the use of the fire protocols in April of 2019. Like I said before, we submitted our application almost 2 years ago. The application is based on a 20-point evaluation. We were graded on the certification of all of our staff members, our call performance, which is probably the biggest thing. Quality assurance measures, our quality assurance coordinator has done a fantastic job trying to get everyone on the same page and make sure we're processing these calls on a consistent manner at a high level. Customer service, how we are treating the calls when they call 911, that is a big thing with us. We have to go over our local policies and procedures. All of our telecommunicators have to go through at least 24 hours of continuing education each year. We have to go through policies and procedures with our medical director. Our medical director now is Dr. Brian Kitch, and the Fire Marshal Jay Moore serves as our fire administrator. And these are our digital copies of the plaques that we are supposed to receive in June. They're not here yet, but they are coming. Any questions about this accreditation or the process?
Any questions? That's a great accomplishment. Congratulations.
Yes, we're very proud.
Okay, April tax collection report. Russell?
Good evening, Chairman Smith, Commissioners, and Manager Gallagher. The current fiscal year combined tax collection rate through April 30th, 2024 for real and personal property was 99.03%. The combined rate 1 year ago for real and personal property was 98.95%. Pitt County Tax Administration continues to pursue all outstanding taxes using the necessary remedies available through the North Carolina General Statutes. If there are no questions, it's my recommendation to approve the April 2024 tax collection report as presented.
Motion to approve.
There a motion and a second?
So moved.
Thank you.
Thank you, Russell. And Sam's coming up for our financial report.
Good evening, Chairman Smith, Commissioners, Madam Manager. It's good to be with y'all tonight. Tonight I bring you the April 2024 financial report for the General Fund, Solid Waste Fund, and the EMS Fund. We are 10 months into the fiscal year. At this point, we're 83.3%. For the General Fund, we have collected 79.7% of the anticipated revenues and spent 73.8% of budgeted expenditures. Solid waste, we have collected 91.8% and spent 67.7%. EMS, we have collected 93.2% and we've spent 80.8%. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. If not, it's my recommendation for a motion to approve the monthly financial report.
Second.
All right, have a motion and a second. Please vote. Thank you, Sam.
Thank you.
And Madam Manager, the rest is yours.
Yes, I have a few items to report this evening. Your next meeting dates, June 3rd at 6 o'clock, June 4th at 6 o'clock in this room for your public hearing on the budget, and then June 17th is your second meeting in June. Also, just as a reminder on dates, county offices will be closed in observance of Memorial Day on Monday, May 27th. A reminder, item B, for NCACC, that's the North Carolina Association of County Commissioners County Advocacy Days. For those who are registered to attend that event, it is June 11th to 12th at the Raleigh Marriott. An opportunity to hear from our General Assembly and advocate that day. Item C is just a just a good news item of, for those who saw this in their agenda before, that this past Saturday, the Boys and Girls Club of the Coastal Plain had their 2024 Spelling Bee. And I had the pleasure of serving as a judge for the children in the Boys and Girls Club on Saturday afternoon, and it was a really incredible event. I continue to be inspired by the kindness and respectfulness and dedication towards educational success that those children are pursuing, and the staff that models that behavior and encourages them to do so. It was a wonderful event, and thrilled to see the things that our Boys and Girls Clubs of the Coastal Plain are doing right here in Pitt County. Item D is another good news item, and as you will recall, and this relates to our bond ratings. And as you will recall, we're doing the borrowing for limited obligation bonds for Pitt Community College welding building. And as part of that borrowing process, our rating agencies issue a rating, and that determines how competitive your bonds will be on the market. The higher your rating, the more interest you may have in your bonds, and better the interest rate you'll receive on the payback, and the higher a premium you'll receive in that financial transaction. So members of senior leadership team had to go to the rating agencies in New York and visit with the executives at Moody's, Fitch, and Standard & Poor's. And so I was accompanied by Sam Kroom, Chief Financial Officer, Mike Taylor, Chief Information Officer, both deputy managers, and Matt Gibson, our county attorney. And we worked as hard as we could in those three presentations. And for Fitch and for Moody's, we were already at an AA plus rating. And for AA plus, and for Fitch, and that remained unchanged. We held on to it. For Moody's, we were at an AA1, which is like an AA plus, and that remained unchanged. When we went to Standard & Poor's, though, we had to be on our game because we were an AA minus going into Standard & Poor's. And after our presentation, we received word that they upgraded Pitt County to an AA+. So I am thrilled to be able to share that news with you, that we received the upgrade. We won't have to go back again for several years. It will positively impact your borrowing on the Pitt Community College transaction and any future borrowings. And I couldn't be more proud of the team that went and showed why they ought to think more highly of Pitt County government and our financial practices and strengths. So that was pretty neat. Also, with regard to the Pitt Community College bonds, this is not on your agenda, but just to make the full board aware, the status of that project. Bids came in for the welding building. We were anticipating and projecting that the cost of that building would be about $15.3 million. And that was 2 years ago when we first initiated this concept. And knowing that prices would rise, we asked the board all along for authority to borrow up to $17 million. Those bids came in, and the bid that the community college would like to select is $16.4 million. So still within our borrowing authority, just slightly above where we thought we would be, and so that's going to continue to move forward as our financial services division continues to work with the community college folks. There was a document that needed to confirm that within the authority that the board previously provided, and that was presented to the chair for signature tonight. All right.
Janice, can I ask a question?
Yes.
What were the other bids?
Sam can answer that question. We have the bid tabulation. They were all higher than that. That was the lowest bid, and I can get that information to you.
Is it still county policy you go with the lowest bid regardless? Even after the disaster that we suffered with the animal shelter?
So we do consider all factors in the responsiveness of a bid. This was a bid that was issued through an architect and team at Pitt Community College, and I believe that they are satisfied with this bid and recommended that it be accepted. So cost is the primary factor when you're bidding construction projects, but there are other factors that are considered when you look at the total responsiveness of a bid response.
Remember, Thomas, holes in the hand, wounds in the side. So.
I think you'll be pleased.
All right.
Then I wanted to do a shout out. Kelly Andrews is here in the audience. Just a reminder of some of the incredible staff that we have working here for Pitt County government. Kelly Andrews was named again to the 2024 Economic Development Power List. And this is a publication that's put out. Kelly probably didn't even realize I was doing this. This is a publication that was put out and from Business North Carolina. And Kelly is in the company of Chris Chung, CEO of the Economic Development Partnership of North Carolina, Gene McLaurin with the EDPNC, Brett Christensen, CEO of the Greensboro Chamber of Commerce, Brittany Brady, CEO of the Henderson County Partnership for Economic Development, and Paige Castrodale with Cabarrus County Economic Development, and a few others. But we couldn't be more proud of Kelly for this recognition. It indicates in her listing in this power list, it says, anchored by a university and its healthcare system, Pitt County has welcomed more than $1 billion in industrial development, most of it biopharma, since 2009. Andrews, 50, has seen it all, joining the Economic Booster in 2006 and serving as its director since 2010. She's a Pitt Community College trustee and on the North Carolina Economic Development Association board. It lists her education, her best advice, her favorite passion, and things she'll never do again. An incredible publication, and one that I'd be glad to share with the board, and we'll copy this for your next weekly packet. But congratulations, Kelly, for that recognition. And if I could add one more thing to my report, and that's just to remind the board of one of my favorite programs in Pitt County government that is starting June 3rd to August 16th, and that's the Shelter Buddies Reading Program. So if you have children in Pitt County during the summertime and want to encourage them not to lose the progress they've made in reading, they are welcome to sign up with the animal shelter and read to our furry friends in the shelter to keep those reading skills up. There is a good amount of science behind the benefits of this program, And we are thrilled that Chad Singleton, as Director of Animal Services, is offering this again, and you can contact the animal shelter for more information.
Could I ask if this is presented to the schools?
It is, they're
Okay,
aware.
I just want to make sure that, they
Yes.
know they have that opportunity.
They do, and today was the day that our Public Information Office sent out a press release, social media campaign. The schools are aware, and we get that word out just as broadly as we can. And it's a really, really neat program to see. That's all that I have, unless you have any questions.
Thank you, Madam Manager. We'll move on to items for consent. I'll entertain a motion for that.
Motion to approve the item.
Second.
A motion and a second. Please vote. And then we will move to items for decision. Madam Manager, I'll turn that over to you.
Yes, your first is an appointment and reappointment to the Agriculture Advisory Board. It's been recommended that you reappoint Chad Smith and Lauren White and appoint Cole Dale to the Agricultural Advisory Board.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second.
Mr. Attorney, do I need to refrain from voting for that since I will be voting for myself?
That would be great, yeah.
Okay.
No, you're not going to get a financial benefit out of it.
No, there's none whatsoever.
Okay.
Your next item for decision is an appointment to the Pitt County Pretrial Services Advisory Board. It's being recommended that James Tapley Coyle be appointed to the Pitt County Pretrial Services Advisory Board in the seat designated for the Public Defender's Office. It's noted that they've been working diligently to get members onto this board since they have a short period of time within which to make their recommendations. And so making this appointment will be an exception to your policy that requires an application to be on file for 15 full days.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Okay, we'll move on to commissioner comments. I'll start to my right with Commissioner Ward,
No comments, thank you.
Commissioner Holloman. No comment. Commissioner Nunley.
No comment.
And this is going easy. Commissioner Colson.
No comments.
Commissioner Floyd Huggins.
I just want to remind us, Madam Manager, that I read that it's time for legislative goals to North Carolina Association of County Commissioners. So if Pitt County wants to put in some legislative goals, I saw that email come across.
Okay, Commissioner White.
No comment.
Commissioner McGlohorn.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Mr. Manager, after reviewing the budget, talking with the manager, Janice Gallagher, I would like at this time to recommend that the county manager include $75,000 in the proposed fiscal year 24-25 budget allocating to the Bethel Youth Center improvement. If there's no objection, I would like to ask the chairman of the board if he would direct the manager to make the change prior to the public hearing of the budget.
Okay, any commissioner comments with that change?
So what's
Madam
this
Manager,
for?
you want to comment on that? Yes, about how we'll handle that as far as voting.
Yes, so this would, you heard a presentation during this calendar year from Dr. Gary Moore at the Bethel Youth Center. He operates a no-cost after-school and program for the Bethel community and surrounding area. During those presentations, this board deferred it to budget time to consider his requests. I did not include in your recommended budget an allocation for the Bethel Youth Center, but in full transparency, wanted to be sure that the board members who were looking for that to happen were aware. And so in talking with Commissioner McGlohorn and Commissioner Huggins, they indicated that they would like to see, the request was for $150,000. $75,000 is half of that request. It would be for capital improvements at the Bethel Youth Center. I had not initially included it in your proposed budget. If the board would like me to add it into the budget, I can do that and bring that back at your public hearing if you don't just provide me that direction.
Commissioner White?
Two questions. One, is this just gonna be like a one-time thing, or is this gonna be included in the budget every year?
It would be a one-time thing because we would not be adding him as a sustaining agency. We currently allocate funds within the economic development budget for sponsorships and have consistently in the past provided $5,000 as a sponsorship to a summer camp. This would be a one-time fund towards these capital improvements, and then future funding would be subject to an additional request and appropriation.
And my second question, and I feel like I already know the answer, but I just want to double check, this would not take away from anybody else's budget or do anything to that tax rate, would it?
It would not impact, the $75,000 in your total budget could be added without any change to any other part, and we can still make it balanced.
Commissioner Perkins Williams?
I'd like to know what it's for. I'd like to know what is he gonna use it? How will it be used? I'm not familiar with it at all. And it was never discussed as, I was not included in this, so I wouldn't know what it's gonna be used for.
Answer.
Because we're asking for $75,000, and there's no purpose in sharing what it's about. And I don't want to see it around Joe Turner coming up.
So my
Done that
understanding,
before.
my understanding of what it's used for is consistent with, and what I know about what it was used for, what it would be used for, is in the presentation that Dr. Moore made to this board. And he indicated that he had two capital expenditures. One was an addition to the building itself, and the second was a van. The total of those expenses were $150,000. So this allocation, should the board do it, would be towards a portion of those capital expenses.
It would have been nice if I'd known about it. I'm not in favor of it.
Okay. Commissioner Floyd Huggins?
I believe, as the manager said, a presentation, he made a presentation some time ago. Is there a motion in order, or do we just need to consensus to direct you to include it in the budget?
I would say let's vote on it, and if we approve it, then you put it in the
Okay.
budget.
That'd be fine.
Can we do
I
that?
guess Commissioner McGlaughlin, was that your motion?
I'd like to make the motion.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Please vote. Okay, motion passed. So, Madam Manager, you'll make that amendment in the budget.
Yes. So you'll see your total number slightly different, but it's not going to pull from anywhere else or impact your rates.
Okay?
I don't either.
Commissioner McGlaughlin, do you have any other comments?
I have no.
Shocked.
Okay, Commissioner Perkins Williams?
No comment.
Okay. All right. I just want to thank staff for all they do each and every day. A lot of work goes on around here. Thank you so much for what you do.
I'd like to recognize our House of Representatives to the North Carolina Legislative. I got off my
Yes, ma'am.
game
I was getting ready to do that.
Let's get it
But that's
done.
okay. You're still in my thunder, but that's all right. Thank you for being with us tonight. Anything
Being
else?
Slider, thank you.
Okay. I think we have a closed session. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. I'll entertain the motion to go in.
And Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yes,
interrupt
please.
briefly, yes.
Always forget that.
It has been suggested this body go into closed session under the following grounds. One, to consult with an attorney employed or retained by the public body in order to preserve attorney-client privilege under North Carolina General Statute 143-318, 11A3, which privilege is hereby acknowledged. That would be for the suit McCrory at LV Pitt County. Two is to discuss matters relating to the location or expansion of industries under North Carolina General Statute 143-318, 11A4. Three, to prevent the disclosure of information that is not considered a public record under North Carolina General Statute 143-318-10. And lastly, which is not listed but has been added, to consider the qualifications, competence, performance, character, fitness, or conditions of initial employment of an employee under North Carolina General Statute 143-318, 11A6.
Okay, thank you, Matt. Have a motion?
Motion to enter closed session.
Motion here, second?
Second.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, we are back in session. Commissioner White?
Chairman, I would like to make a motion to approve the closed session minutes from May 6th.
Second it.
We have a motion and a second to approve the May 6 minutes. Okay. Commissioner Perkins Williams has offered a motion to adjourn.
Second.
And a second. Okay,
Dee Dee Mao.
thank you. Y'all have a good evening.